This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, today we will see that about the reusable components. So what is that reusable components here? Reusable workflows. Okay. So how can we reuse the workflow? Uh, so we have a workflows right. See here, this is a main.xaml. So we have main.xaml is one workflow. If you create another workflow, right, a sequence, and giving the workflow name, okay, welcome, a new workflow name. So this is another workflow. See here, this is another workflow. So how can you reuse these workflows? So this is a very important topic. So please listen carefully because what I observed in the real time, so many people they are very much confused about this topic. Okay. So because if you have a confusion about this topic, so it's a very problems while you are dealing with the big projects. Okay. Because the a bigger projects has many workflows, many workflows. So those workflows, how can you handle? How can you pass one? How can you pass the values from one workflow to another workflow? Okay. Now we have how many workflows? Main and welcome message. Main and welcome message. So this welcome message, if I just it's basically what is reuse? So reuse means instead of you create multiple times, you are just creating one time and reusing whenever you want. Okay, you're doing suppose for example, let us take a one small login to Facebook.xaml. Okay, so this is one XAML you're creating. So basically, so if you want to log into the Facebook, suppose for one person you are just doing ABC project. So within the ABC project, so you are just logging to Facebook functionality you did. Okay, so this is some activities. Okay, some activities. So basically, uh, this is like this is just opening the application and type the username, type the password, click on the login button. Okay, that is a functionality which is there in this here, right? So if you use a snippet, so last time we learned the snippets, right? So to reuse. So if you use a snippets is just drag and drop into your code whenever you want. Okay. But once you drag and drop into your code, there is no connection between the snippet and your copied code. It's like a copying the code from your friend, your colleague computer to your computer. Okay, so there's no once they change anything in their codes, it won't affect in your code, right? That is a snippet is just copy and paste. But here, the reusable workflows is not a copy and paste. It is like a linking. That means basically you are calling that function, that means calling that uh, workflow. Okay, so now let us imagine in the ABC you use the login.facebook functionality. Suppose in the XYZ project again, so this login functionality has a open FB uh, uh, browser and type username, type password, that is our activities, and click login and check login status whether it is logged in successfully or not. Okay, this is a this is all the code. If tomorrow, so after 6 months, so again you allocated that to the XYZ project. So here also there is a login function. So what you have to do? So again you have to type the open application, open browser, and type username, type password, click on the login, right? So click on check on the status. So the same thing, you're just unnecessarily you're developing the entire thing, whatever you developed already in the old project. Okay. Not only that, not only you. So suppose just imagine some X person, okay, some Suresh is developing the same code, some working with the some BBC project. Okay, he don't know how to deal with this one. So again, he search and he's just typing the open browser. Okay, again, there's no connection between these things. Okay, again, he is doing the same thing. Okay, so the same open browser activity you used in the ABC project, open browser activity for the Facebook, you use the XYZ project, and Suresh or Ramesh or Girish, everyone is in their projects, there is a functionality to log in the Facebook. Okay, so that functionality they are just doing the inverse. Just imagine this will take very little time, but just imagine this whole code will take suppose 30 minutes. Okay, to develop. Okay, 30 minutes to develop any code. So 30 minutes to develop. So here you're just doing 30 minutes to develop, 30 minutes to develop, 30 minutes to develop. Okay, so first thing is, first time when you are using the abc.com abc project, you are developing the same code, spend 30 minutes, and again after a few months they allocated you one more project, XYZ project, and that project also having the same functionality. Again, you develop from the scratch, spend 30 minutes, and Suresh or Ramesh working in the ABC project, the same functionality what you did earlier, he has that requirement came and he's also developing from the scratch. He spent 30 minutes. The time, right? The time, it is taking a lot of time, right? Lot of time. Now, one point is the time, okay, because you have to develop from the scratch everything. You have to develop from the scratch. The next thing is your ABC project is running well for perfectly, XYZ project is running perfectly, a BBC project is running perfect. All the three projects are in their production. Okay, let's imagine tomorrow there is some small change in the username text box. Okay, in FB, Facebook. In the Facebook page, so the Facebook company itself, they changed the some text box selector. So now this is not this is a stopping because of the selector not found exception, right? This is not running. Again, this is also not running. This is also not running. Okay. So all the three processes are failing because of the some small change in the application. So we're not doing any changes. So browser, that means Facebook company itself, they change small, they releases some new version. That new version, the text box label, the text box is username text box is changed. The username text box, instead of a UID, they use the username text, like something like this. So suppose they change the ID equal to earlier UID. Okay, now we take in that property into the selector, but now in the new version they use the ID equal to user name FB. So if we use this one, it is not working because they changed some UI, right? So this time, so we have to change rework. Okay, the rework. So in the rework or modification, so what we have to change? We have to change because all the applications are failing. Okay, because we have to change here itself and here itself, right? Here itself. So suppose, for example, if you use a separate component, suppose, for example, just imagine here login to facebook.xaml. So you created a separate XAML, and with that XAML has these all the things. Okay, and just imagine these are all the things. So you created a separate workflow. So what is the purpose of this workflow? The login to facebook.xaml, it will open the browser, it will log in username and password. So log into that Facebook and give the status. So suppose you have to pass the variables. Okay, so pass the some values. So you have to pass the username and password. You have to pass the username and password. If you pass the username and password for this application, give me 1 second, 1 second. Yeah. So if you create a one-time effort, this is a one-time effort. And so if you tomorrow after 3 months you go to the XYZ project and you just call, okay, or invoke this workflow. Okay. Invoke this workflow by just passing username and password of the Facebook. Okay, got it? So you don't need to spend 30 minutes to develop this one. So this 30 minutes you saved, right? You're not developing everything. And also this is a link to this one. Okay, this is a link to this one. You're just calling, you're not copying the code, you're just calling that workflow into this XYZ. And also one more thing here, this person Suresh is also calling this same workflow by passing the different username and password, right? Now what is the advantage here? The time is saved. Instead of you spend every time whenever you want, so you are spending one time preparing the something and reusing whenever you want. Okay, got it? Preparing one time and reusing whenever you want. And the same thing, a rework. Suppose, for example, tomorrow the username is changed or password field is changed. The password text box is changed. You are not disturbing the ABC project or XYZ project. You're just disturbing this login to Facebook only. This you can change. Suppose earlier ID equal to PWD. Now they changed the new ID is equal to password FB Facebook. Okay, so now you can change here itself, single place, okay, centralized place. So you're just changing in one place, and so remaining the projects which is referring your workflow automatically it will change, because it's not a copy, it is a linking, it is a calling that workflow. Got it? It's a calling that workflow. The code is in this place only, one place only. Okay, but it is referring whenever they want, it is referring. Suppose, for example, let us take a, suppose I want message boxes, welcome message boxes. Suppose a invoke workflow, or let me message box. Just a drag and drop message box. Welcome to UiPath, something like that. Okay, drag one more thing. So drag, so this is a three text box, so three message boxes. So I just drag it. Okay. So if I run these three text boxes, it will just display, right? Display. So welcome to the UiPath and happy automation practice more and more. That's it. Okay. So if I want somewhere else, somewhere else, again, these three text boxes, again, what I have to do? Again, message box, drag and drop somewhere in this same code. Welcome to UiPath. Same code, same three text boxes. I need the same three text boxes. Okay. So welcome to the UiPath. Again, I have to drag, and again, happy automation. I have to drag. right? Happy automation. So just imagine this is a welcome message. Okay, again happy automation. Again, so see, please listen carefully. If you have any doubts, please ask immediately, because this is a very important. And also I said right, so I saw so many people, they are doing the RPA job in UiPath, still they have a confusion about the reusable workflows. Okay, see now, so two times I dragged the all the code again. Again one more effort, right? So one more effort the time. So how much time I take to do this whole process? Again, I take in the same time to do the same process. Also rework. So they said, so no, not happy automation, happy programming. Okay. So they said welcome message should be a happy programming. How to change here? Again, wherever I use the same kind of thing, change here, change here. Got it? Got it. So okay, so that is a reuse, rework. Okay, rework. So instead of that, what I can do, so I'm just copy these things and all into the one workflow. I created a new workflow, welcome message, copy these things and all one workflow. Now remove everything. So, okay. We're not doing anything here. Okay, it is empty, but we have a reusable workflow. So you can create any number of workflows, so sequence, flow chart, any number of workflows here. So create a workflow, reusable workflow. So now it is a very simple, just two ways. One is a invoke, right? That's what we learned here. Okay, invoking that workflow. Okay, so invoke uh, workflow file is there. Okay, invoke workflow file. So here you can just drag the invoke workflow file and browse that workflow file. So here welcome message.xaml, just select and run the main. I'm running the main. Okay, see, it is working. So what it is do, it will just call this one and it will go to here whenever you call and do the all the stuff whatever you drag and drop here. Okay, and come to here. Okay, suppose just message box. This is a main started. Here main ended. So we're in the main, so we drag this on. So okay, instead of invoke workflow, so the one more thing is you can just simply go to the project panel and drag and drop here. Automatically will be invoke workflow only. Okay, whenever you want, drag and drop. How many times you want, drag and drop. Which place you want, drag and drop. That's it. Okay, see, we're not spending a lot of effort. Or just imagine here three activities are there. Just imagine there is a lot of activities. So to develop this code, a single workflow, we spend an hour. Okay, so the same however we have to spend multiple times, right? So instead of that, we're not spending any more times. Just drag and drop whenever you want and reuse. This is a reusing. Okay, now how many times? So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 times we dragged. Just run. Here you can see main started, the main workflow. This is started. And welcome to UiPath practice. This is one time. This is the second time it is coming. So welcome to UiPath. Third time, welcome to UiPath. Fourth time, welcome to UiPath. The main is ended. That's it. Okay. Whenever you want, you will just drag and drop and reuse. That's it. Okay. This is a workflow, right? This is a workflow. Invoke workflow concept. This is a without without arguments. Without argument. The first thing is without arguments. Okay. So basically, so we learned the methods, right? Methods is also having the some methods which you don't need to pass any arguments. That will do something, right? That will do something. That method will do something. So in the same way, we have a workflows. You can create a workflows without passing any arguments. Okay. Next thing is pass in arguments. The same thing, we will just pass the by in arguments. Suppose welcome to the UiPath and happy programming. Okay, so these things for all. So there is an in arguments. So first, if you want to pass, suppose for example, this is the main workflow, right? The caller. So it's not only main. Okay, who is a caller? And suppose this is like a parent who call basically. Okay? Who call the workflow. Parent workflow. Suppose it is a kid. Okay, the child workflow. So if you want to call this one, this is a calling, right? This is a calling. So this is parent is calling like a kid.xaml. Okay, suppose here kid.xaml. This is whenever they want, they are calling. Okay, the parent and kid. Not only main. Okay, you can call to any workflow to any workflow. That's not your problem. Okay. But so you're calling the kid workflow into this parent workflow. Okay, so while you have a variable, you have a, suppose for example, you have a value here. Suppose I value, there's a name, username. Okay, name equal to Raj. So there is a name, you have a name variable here. Where is that? Name variable in the parent. So, okay, so in the kid workflow, you have to use this name, okay, because the value is coming from the parent and kid are using that value. Then here you have to create a one argument called so in underscore name. Okay, in underscore names, because what is the in? So the name is basically arguments. So for example, we are just discussing about the arguments. The arguments also a variables, but it is used to not only variables has a scope, right? Variables has a what variables has a variable name, and what is the data type, and what is the scope, right? So within the main where we have to use, but the arguments does not have a scope. It's you can use in the whole workflow wherever you want, but it is mainly used for communicating the values between the workflows. Okay, communicating the values between the workflows. So this main, the parent having the name variable, that value, that's a holding the value, right? So the Raj. Okay, sometimes this is not Raj to tomorrow. This is Suresh, this is Ramesh, this might be a Girish, anything, right? But the value is there in the name variable. This name variable we have to pass to the kid while you are calling. Okay, kid.xaml. But the kid.xaml should have, so suppose if you want to pass the values to one workflow to another workflow, one workflow to another workflow, you should have a arguments. By through arguments only we have to pass the values from one workflow to another workflow. So what is the arguments? What do you mean by, so if anyone asks the in interview questions, what is the arguments? The arguments are the also a type of variables, and it is mainly used to communicate the values between the one workflow to another workflow. Okay, communication between that means the passing the values from one workflow to another workflow. So that is the arguments. So these arguments having the argument name and right argument name and one more thing, argument data type. What is the data type of that? And the direction. Okay, the direction basically. So this is the direction. That is a very important. That direction is very important. Okay. See now. So let's imagine. So you have a suppose you're just this is a A. A is going to purchase the vegetables. This is a V. Okay. V. Okay. This V is a vegetable vendor. Okay. Vegetable vendor. So who sell the vegetables? Okay. So got it. So just imagine these are all the vegetables. Okay. Suppose he has the vegetables. He has some vegetables. Just imagine he has some vegetables. This V has some vegetables. So this A. So understand this A is going to purchase the vegetables in the under V from V. Okay. So to take that vegetables, to take these vegetables, B should have these vegetables he stored in the one variable. Okay. Suppose variable means what is that? So this is the one vessel. Just imagine this is a one basket. Okay. And one bag. Okay. So he has all the vegetables onto that bag. Got it? This way has the vegetables in the basket or something. Okay. The V has the one variable called bag. Variable called bag. Okay. So if he want to purchase, he should carry these vegetables, right? To carry these vegetables, he should have a one variable, right? Again, one bag. So this variable is called argument. This is the argument. Okay. He has to. So this is like a for B, let's imagine instead of this, we can just call it as a kid and parent. Okay, the same example. This is a parent. Okay, parent has a in the same parent has a name variable that has a value. So this parent has a one bag, that is a variable called a bag. Okay, so this bag has a vegetables. Just imagine. Okay, so this kid need that way this vegetables to do some process. Okay, to cook something. Okay, got it. So this kid is need the in name which is available in the parent to do some process in the kid. Okay, so then he should have a in bag, that means in argument. Okay, so here it is a variable. So what is this here? Here it is a variable because the parent has a variable that has the value. The bag is a variable that has a value. These are all these two are the values. Okay, so to store these values, so the kid should have a person should have a argument. Okay, to store these values. Now that direction is the in direction. So if you have an in direction, this will go to the inside this kid, right? That's why it is a in. Got it? These values you are passing from the parent to kid. That means inside this kid. That's why it is a in argument. Okay, that's the in argument. Let's go to the here arguments. So where you have to declare the arguments? First of all, so you're calling here, right? You're calling this one. Okay, this is a parent and this is a kid. You're calling this one, the called one. Okay, called one, and so if you want to pass this value to the kid variable, kid XAML, where you have to create a variables, where you have to create a variables, you have to create a variables in kid.xaml. Got it? Type in the chat window. So where you have to create a variables. So if you want to, the parent has the one variable called name equal to Raj. Okay, you have to pass that name into the kid. If you want to pass the value to the value to that kid, okay, so you have to create a arguments. Where you have to create? You have to create in the kid, the child workflow. Basically, always you have to create in the child workflow. Okay. So, and also one more thing you have to keep in mind is do not create unnecessarily the arguments. Okay, whenever they want, that means whenever you want to communicate with the another workflows, whenever you want to pass the values from one workflow to another workflow, then you have to create a argument. So otherwise, do not treat that like a so simple variables. Okay, don't create a multiple don't create a multiple variables. In the sense, some people they will just simply create arguments instead of variables. Okay, so when you have to create a arguments, whenever you want to okay, so you want to pass one values to the another values. Okay, another workflows values to the another workflow. So now, so tell me here we have a main and welcome. So here, so I have to tell that just imagine I just created one variable. Okay, a name, that is a just I pass that as a Raj. Okay, now we need that welcome to UiPath Mr. Raj. Okay, so where we have to create a arguments, just type in the chart window where we have to create a main, we have to create a chart. So I'm just calling this one. Okay, calling this one, this is a child. Okay, this is a child. So where we have to create a arguments, I have to pass this variable name into the workflow welcome message.xaml. Okay, where we have to create a variables. Which workflow, main or welcome? Just type in the chat window. Which workflow I have to create a variables, arguments? Which workflow? We have to create a arguments in the welcome. Excellent. Okay, we have to create a arguments in the so just create a argument. That's a name, again name, or string variable only, because we're going to pass the string variable only, right? So then you just create an argument. Here we are in the argument session, not the variable session in the welcome. So the direction, so what is the direction here? In or out, or in out, or what is the direction here? That means here we saw that it is a in direction, right? If you're taking the child workflow need the value, then it is a in. Got it? So if the child workflow need that value, right? So to display the message box with the name, to display this message box with the name, then this variable should be in, because the value is coming into the workflow. So this is a very simple thing. Okay, the value is coming into this workflow. That is into this workflow. Okay, the value is not coming from the outside to in, outside to in. So now the direction is a in only. Now, so welcome. Here I'm using the name. If I just simply run this workflow only, welcome message. So welcome to UiPath. There is no value, but that variable is empty. And also you can pass the default value. If no one passes anything, okay. I'm just passing the Sudheer. So if I run the same workflow, that current workflow, so it's giving the default value. Welcome to UiPath, Sudheer. So now go to the main and drag this one, right? So just run the same thing. If you don't pass any value, main, see, if you don't pass any value, by default, this will take the default value. Whatever you're giving the default value, that will take that. Okay. If you don't pass any value from outside, so to pass the any value from outside, you have to click on the invoke arguments. So if you click on the invoke arguments, all the arguments are available in the child workflow. That is a welcome message are displayed here. And what is the name of the work argument, and the direction, and the name, the basically the what is the type. This is a value. So this is a value. So whatever you want to pass, this is a value you have to. So on here, when you press the invoke workflow, invoke arguments, import arguments. When you press the import arguments, you have to disturb this value column only. Don't create anything here. So you can create, but it is always best practice to create here. Okay. So if you want to change any variables, just change the variable names. Okay. Change the argument name, change the argument names, change the argument direction, change the argument, create a new arguments, delete the other arguments. So these are all the things you have to do in this arguments panel, not in the import arguments. So you can do, but it's not best practice. You have to deal with only the values. Okay, only the values. So now we have a in bag and the bag. So these values we're passing. Earlier it is here. We're passing the values to the this one. To pass these values to this one, so you are just uh, uh, so tagging that this variable name bag variable to the in underscore bag. Let's see here. This is a name and name, both are same because I declared the name the same name here, and this is a name here. Okay, so whatever the variable name, this is a variable name. Okay, the variable name from here. This value going to this one. So if I type just Harish, double quotes, just run this one. This will just display, so this Harish will go there. Okay, Harish, see, welcome to UiPath, Harish. Where we pass the Harish? Harish we pass in from the main, that Harish is going and sitting into this argument, and this argument we use here name, right? That's why it is displaying the Harish. Got it? So instead of that, so if you just create you can pass the hard-coded values, or you can pass the simply name. So we have a variable. We already declared that variable name, that is a Raj. We assign the Raj and run this one. Now see, welcome to UiPath, Raj, right? We got the Raj. So if you just drag and drop again one more time, you can pass. Suppose you just assign the argument, the name equal to Jagadish. Okay, here import arguments. Here we're just passing the name. Okay, again, if you want to drag and drop. So input arguments here, you can hard code Gopi. Okay. So now what we done? So we just here we hard coded so we gave the value. This will display the Raj, and we just updated the name variable to the Jagdish, and here it will display Jagdish, and here we hard coded again. That is a Gopi. Okay, let's run the program. It's an in argument. Okay, in argument we're passing the values from the outside. So first one is Raj, next one is a Jagdish. See here, next one is a Gopi. Okay, so that is basically the in argument. You're passing to the in, the value is passing to the in. So welcome message. So then the next thing is the out argument. Let's create one more workflow like a calculate something. Okay, calculate something. Here in this workflow, the newly created workflows, we have to just imagine. So what we will do, we'll do the small reusable component. Okay, so what we can do, we can just ask the value 1, value 2, and the operation. Okay, so basically operation. Otherwise, what we can do, we can just give the city name, and it will give this is the in direction, and this is the out direction. So it will return the temperature. So that's what. So we will create a one workflow. So what it will give the input argument and it will send the output argument. Okay. So before that, what we will do, so we'll just simply a new see. So to differentiate with the arguments, the best practice is to differentiate with the arguments. You have to use the prefix. Prefix is like a just to understand. That's it. Prefix instead of name. See, I have a small confusion. Might be we may have some small confusion. What is this name and this name? This name and this name is both are different. This is a name from main variable. In the main.xml, there is a variable name called name. This name is called, this is a name which is available in the welcome message.xml. So that is a basically a argument. Okay. So if you pass the same value, so that's a good, but it's a some giving the some confusion. Instead of that, always if you use the arguments, always what you have to use, a prefix. Okay, the prefix will help to understand better. Okay, so now if you see here, so this is an in argument, in underscore, in the small letters, in underscore. Okay, now this is an in argument. You can see now, so whenever you open here, okay, so this is an in argument. This in argument is available in the main welcome message, and this is a variable. Okay, in argument. So if you have the out, you just type the out. If you have the in out, so in underscore out underscore small letters, IO underscore in out. Okay, this is the in out. Okay, now so we will just use the first name, last name, full name. Okay, so what we can do, so we can just use the in underscore, and the direction is the in only, in underscore. So the last name is also direction is in. This is out underscore. So this is the direction is out. So okay, so this is a one workflow. So we declare the three arguments. One is the two is the in arguments and one is the out arguments. What it will do basically, this will just assign the out is like a going from, right, going from, he has money. Okay, he has some purse, and the purse has some money, dollars. Okay, so these dollars, so he is giving this money. Okay, the kid is giving the money after purchasing vegetables. He has to give this money to, right, to this person. Okay, to this person. So to send back this is a out argument. Okay, money out underscore cash, right? You're just sending the cash to the parent who is calling the vegetable vendor, right? The cash. So then it is out. You whatever you're going from this workflow, so whatever what anything is going from this workflow to the outside workflow. So that means then you have to use the out direction. So now we have arguments, three arguments, and we're just passing the out. Full name equal to in underscore first name plus, I'm just giving the space, and plus in underscore last name. Okay. We're just giving the full name. That's it. That's it. There's no code here. That's it. Simply we're just updating this one. This is a we are using the outside of the whenever we want to do. Okay, now let's close this one. Drag this calc. Okay, drag this calc. Just drag this calc. Import arguments. So here we have three arguments. One is a in and this out last name, and this is a out. So to take the out, they should have a some, that mean container, that mean container in the sense to store that, to hold that value. So this is a coming outside to hold that value. You should not give the any values, because see here it is saying that error. So, okay, so you should not take the values. This is giving the value. Okay, if you want to pass the values, you can pass the hard-coded values, but it is giving the value, right? So just to store that giving value, you just create a one variable f name, full name, okay, and save. This f name is a string. You can display here the f name message box f name. Okay, so here I I mean here the hard coded values, this one and this one, right? So okay, so what you can do, you can just so create the variables and pass the variables. That is also fine. Okay, let's run. It's two variables is into the calc dot see Sudheer.Nimmagadda. It came the full name. Okay, so that's the in and out. So let's take another workflow called add values, add values. Okay, so we'll pass the add values two input variables and in underscore a value, and that is an integer. Just pass the integer, and so this is a in underscore b value. One second, 1 second. Yeah, so this is another input argument, so and it's giving the integer and in direction. So out argument, okay, so this is a result. So what basically it will do, it will just this is also in integer, and basically this will just assign a value the out argument, the business logic. So in underscore a value plus in underscore b value. So basically it will add those two values and store into the this ones. Whenever you want to, so not only the main, okay, so you can just use any variable, okay, any place. So whenever you want to let's try to drag this one, the add values. Once you drag, you have to pause the value. So suppose just ask the input dialog, enter a value. So enter a value. So you can just create a two variables here, a, that's the integer, and here b or j, that is an integer, this is I. Okay, I and j, these are all the integers. You can just ask these two values from here, store that I value here, and copy, ask the second value. Where in the where? So we are in the main. Just observe here. We're in the main we have a ij. We taken the ij from somewhere, and we fill the ij values. And while we are calling and to store the result, and just creating the another variable called k. Okay, k. So we have it three integer variables. One is variables. This is a variable. See here clearly. Ijk, I value we are taking from the outside, j value we are taking from the outside, right? And the k value is the addition of these two. The addition, we are not doing the business logic here in the main. So we have a ready-made activity. So that activity we are using. So pass this I value here, whatever you taken from the user, and pass the j value here, and this logic will do some business logic, business calculation, and it will give the output as another result. So that result we're taking into the another variable called k. Let us display the k. So if I just display that k, here the k value, let us try to run. So where is the business logic? Everything is um, consolidated in the one workflow. Add. See, now it's asking the a value. There's a 2 and b value 3. Now the value is a 5. Where is the addition logic happens? Addition logic is happening here. These values are these two values going inside and sit into these two values. So in underscore. So while you are treating, you have to treat like this. This is this values will come. Okay, so while you are doing the logic, you have to think like these values will come from outside, and we have to update this value. Got it? So that is a in and out arguments. Okay, in and out arguments. So
Sudhir, I have one question. Why we are passing variable in a main.xaml file? Like directly we cannot pass that argument to that main. We are storing into variable and then using it.
directly means directly you are
Like
saying so five like this, right? Five link like this.
like out workflow out argument we are giving to one variable of main and then that is
Huh,
using in that main XML.
huh. Yeah,
That one I'm asking.
this one, right? This one. Okay.
Yeah, some generic variable we are storing that like generic variable we are storing and doing that argument thing here.
What you are asking is why we have to store this result into the k variable.
Yes, we cannot use directly to that main workflow that out result.
Uh, see, just this workflow, when you call, if you pass two values, it will give the addition value, single value outside. Okay. To take that value to do further process, you should use the variable, right, to store. This will give the one value. Okay, so if you give the so see if the that okay, so you should have a one container to take, right,
So
to hold that
in case we have multiple out value coming from some workflow to the main, so for every time we need to give that variable to store.
yes,
Like
of course. Okay.
suppose five
You have
out
to
arguments are coming from
yeah,
uh, Kelsey workflow to our main workflow. So in
mm,
that case, five variable we need to create
yes,
to
yes,
store
yes.
it.
Okay, so you're saying directly can't we use this one, right? That's what your
Yes,
question.
yes.
Directly we can't use. See, out underscore result. If I type the out underscore result here, okay, here out. See, so if I type the out underscore, where is the result? So see, suppose for example, this is not a variable. This is a
Argument.
argument in that workflow, not in main. Okay, so if you type this
Hmm.
one, so what it is saying? It is saying it does not know. It is saying that's out underscore result is not declared in the main. Okay, that's
Hmm.
why we are taking some other workflow. Okay, some other variable. Okay, we can't access the arguments of the other workflow into the main. So to access that arguments from another workflow to the main, then you have to that main or any parent workflow. You should create a variables to store that value, coming value. To store that value, you should store give the values that be variables. Do you understand? Now we are not able to access. These are all you can't able to access this variable. These are all the arguments you can access in only in this here, only here, only in this workflow you can access.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah, understood. So for every out argument,
See,
we need to
see,
give it into that variable and then use into that main XML.
yes, yes. Okay, yes. So you see here this parse name. Parse name is a cache, out underscore cache. Parse name is out underscore cache. So this kid is not giving whole parse to the parent. He's not giving the parse. Understand here. He's not giving the whole parse. That parse is an argument. Okay. He's not giving the whole parse to the parent. Okay. That parent does not have a permission to access this whole parse. Instead of that, what he's doing, he's giving the money, the value basically. Okay. So the value. So this value, he is giving the money, the value to the parent workflow. That's why it is out. Okay. So while he is giving the value, he should have at least to store this money, he should have some container again. That's a variable. Again, he declared the one variable. Okay, money box, some account box, right? So instead of he has a some 8 rupees. Okay, he is giving this money. He's not giving this person. This parent does not have a permissions to this out cache. Okay, so this value he is giving to the out. The value is moving from one workflow to the another workflow through arguments and variables. That's it. Got
Okay.
it? You have
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have a confusion.
I just want to know,
Hmm.
in argument, could you please explain again, please?
Okay, so in argument is like a, if you want to pass any value from the main, not only main, okay, the any workflow to another workflow where you are calling. Okay, so this workflow has a these two values, right? So I value is coming from here, I is a variable, the j is a variable, I having the one value given by the user, j having the one value given by the user. These values we have to pass to this variable, this workflow. So then only they can use that I and j values. And so anyway, as this is a variables, I and j is a variables, this add value does not have a I and j variables and any values, right? So if I type the I and j here, this does not know about I and j. So okay, because the I and j only limited access to this main only, because that is a variables which we declared in the main.xaml. Got it.
Okay.
How can you pass the values which is there in the I and j variables to the this add values workflow? Okay, the values you are not passing the variables. You're passing the values which is there in that variable. Okay, so value first value which is there in the I, the first second value which is there in the j. To pass to that this one, this workflow should have a input arguments, otherwise you can't able to add. So input arguments, so that's why initially we created these two input arguments to get the values, to the workflow, that is a inside this workflow. Okay, then by passing that values I and j values, so these values, the variables which contains the values to the I value go to the in underscore a value variable value, and j value is going to the in underscore b variable value argument. Okay, and
Also here also we have declared the argument na in main.xml also we have declared the argument to argument
here,
in dot,
you are
in
saying
in
here,
work for yeah here
yeah.
importing, sorry, okay,
So
okay, we are
that's
import.
why, yeah, that's why where I'm not. That mean I said that do not create any arguments here. It is the best practice to create the arguments where at the workflow itself. Okay,
Okay, okay.
okay. Let's create a one more workflow like a kill processes. Okay, kill processes. Okay, this kill processes is one new workflow. So we will take the one process, which process we want to kill. Okay, in underscore process name. Okay, so any name that is an in argument that is in and the string variable. Okay, now we will use a kill process activity, drag and drop, and here we are using the this argument name. Okay, because this argument name is coming from. We don't know what to kill. The what to kill is decided by the whenever they call this kill all processes. Okay, this kill process. Okay, it's kill process. Now, if you want to kill, just drag and drop. If I want to kill anything, just kill process. And if I just open the winboard and Excel, say I open the winboard and Excel, right? And Internet Explorer. So we have a multiple things open, right? So suppose I want to kill anything. Suppose I'm just using this is a in process, right? Here I'm just using the Excel. Okay. If I want to kill somewhere here, the another thing like a here I'm just passing the another variable called okay winboard. So again somewhere here after adding that, if I want to kill processes, at the end we will call the kill processes again. You are just reusing. Okay, I explore. This is an Internet Explorer. I explore means in Internet Explorer. Let us run. Now we have a Word open, Excel open, IE open. Okay, now our project is running, so we call the kill process main. The Excel is closed. What? Excel is closed. Where I this one, Word is closed. Something like a 3 and 4 and main. Once I click this one, so the Internet Explorer is also closed. Got it? So we're just using the values may change tomorrow. Okay, so whenever they call, they will decide on that time. They will decide which to kill. Okay, which process has to kill. That's why we created the single workflow, and that is a one in argument. What it will do, if you pass the process name, it will kill. Okay? That's a kill all process, a kill process. Got it? This is the in. Do you all understand what is the in? Do you all understand? Just type in the chat window if you not understand. Now in and out. It's like a see here. See, this is a gold worker. Just imagine gold worker. So you are giving the input is a raw gold. Okay, they will give the output as a some jewelry. Okay, some ornaments. Okay, some ornaments. Okay, some material, output materials, whatever. Here is a in. Here is a out. You are the person. You're giving the same thing. So you are taking the same box. Okay, just you're giving the value raw gold and they are converting that one into the ornament and they are giving back. That's it. Okay, so that is the in and out. Okay, in and out. You're giving the value, you're giving the value, that value again you're taking from that. Let us take suppose for example uppercase. Capital case. Okay. So this capital case having the one argument like a IO underscore. So string value. Okay, so this is a in and out. Okay, in and out. So basically it will come as an input, it will go as the output. IO string value equal to IO string value dot to upper. So let us call this one capital case. Here I'm just taking that one variable username. So here this username has the value. Okay, UIPATH something different case. See the case. Okay, different case. Yes. So username passing the value and getting the value in the same variable. Display the message box. Username. So before username, before the calling that workflow, username it will display, and after that calling workflow, it will display the username. Okay. This is a before, this is a after. Okay. What it will do, it will just change that one and store into this variable. Okay, that's it. Okay. Got it? This is a in and out. In and out. Okay. Do you have any doubts in the in out in out? Do you all understand what is the in, what is out, what is the in out? If you understood, just type yes in the chat window. Do you all understood? Okay, perfect. Now we have to create a, so take a workflow. It's a process. Within the process, this is a process we will run from here. Okay, process. Okay, so we'll create one new workflow, like a new person. Okay, new person. So this new person workflow we will call from the process. Okay, we'll call from the process. We'll call this in the process. A new process will be, this is a process. New person we will call from the process. Okay, basically what it has to do, it has to go to the fake name generator, right? It has to give the, so the name and the phone number, right? So it has to give the name and phone number. Okay. And a fake email ID. Okay, we need three values: name and phone number and the email ID. So whenever we call that one, so we don't need to bother in the process. We don't need to bother about anything. But if I call the new person, it will give the three values. What is that? One is a user, the name, and the phone number, the mobile number, and the email ID. This will give these three values. So who will give? So this new person has to give. So okay. Now tell me how many arguments we should have here in the new person. How many arguments? Just type in the chat window. How many arguments we have? So how many arguments? So first of all, declare the arguments. Okay. So we need to pass, yeah, three arguments. Okay. So one is a name and mobile or phone number and email address, full name. Okay. So what is the directions? So whether it's in or what. So basically this in, whenever I call this new person, the new person workflow has to open the fake name generator website and take his name, phone number, and email ID and give it back to the workflow which it calls. So now this is a in or out or in out. Which direction is variables? Is it in or out? In or out? So what about others? Not understood. They're all out direction because it is giving something back. It is giving these three back, okay, to the output, to the output, to the process or something somewhere, okay. Then it is these three are the out arguments. Now, just open application, open browser, just drag and drop, and here use the URL. Browser type I'm changing to Chrome. Use the URL and so use the wait for some time so to load. So anyway, it is waiting, right? So 3 seconds and use the get text activity. Get text activity. There's a drag, click on the get text and select this one, this name, and so check the name selector. Okay, create a name here in underscore, so out underscore. Where's that? This argument is not displaying. Let's create a meaningful out underscore so that while seeing here itself we can understand, differentiate between the arguments and variables. Okay, out underscore. Here out underscore full name. User get text, indicate on screen, phone number, out underscore phone number. User get text again, indicate on screen, use the email ID. It's not giving the email ID properly. Okay, so what we can do, we can just go for the age. Okay, go for the age. So because again we have to use some string operations to okay, let it be. Okay, so the outer underscore email address. So now let's close this. Once you taken the anything, close this tab. That's it. The purpose of the new person is it will, or whenever you call this new person will give the a new details, new person details. Okay, then now call this one new person. So call this new person here and import arguments to store that output arguments, output values. So anyway, you are not able to access these arguments outside. This is arguments only limited to that particular workflow only. Okay, the email address, you just storing everything into the variables. So one thing you have to understand is, so to get these output arguments to the values to these variables, you have to create in the process, you have to create the variables, not arguments. Okay, you have to create the variables, not arguments. You're just storing the values. Now display the message box or whatever you want to do. So you just type something, type into, just type in here. So take a text box, notepad, type here, and there's notepad, the name plus environment dot new line plus what is it? Email ID plus environment dot new line plus mobile number. Okay, plus environment dot new line. Okay, so I'm just running this process. Once we run the process, what it will do, I'm just closing this one. Anyway, don't have it open. What it will do, the purpose of the new person is opening the fake name generator and take the name, phone number, and email ID and close the tab and send back those three values to the workflow which it's called. Okay. It's waiting. Okay, once it closed automatically. The browser is also closed. There's no browser at all. Browser is closed and it is typing here. So when where is a code? The whole code is consolidated. I mean, enclosed in this workflow. Okay. The purpose of this one is the purpose. Just think like a simple workflow is like a some this person activity, the new person activity. This workflow will give the three values whenever you call. Whenever you call, this will give the one time you wrote the one time and drag and drop any number of times. Okay. So take that again. It's a drag copied multiple times. So once it will type and again it will go open the another browser and type this one. Okay. Type here. Let's run. See, got it. So you're just creating the reuse like the login to Facebook. Okay, login to Facebook.xaml will log in and it will return the whether true or false. So if it is a login successfully, it will return the true. Otherwise, it will return the false. So do you have any doubts in this reusable workflows? In argument, out argument, in out.
Out argument is clear, so they like we are getting a value in out argument from that web browser from web and then passing into that variable, and that variable is using into that main workflow process XML. But in argument, we need to use that workflow into that process only, right? In argument.
Huh. In argument?
In
Oh,
argument, like within the workflow we need to use that. In that case we give in an argument.
yes. Within the workflow, if you want to use, so you're using that in argument within the workflow. Okay. So let us do one thing. So otherwise, suppose for example, you're just creating one folder. Okay. Creation. So within this folder, I want to create a multiple folders. Okay. So how many number of folders we have to create? So those things are now create folders by number. Okay. Something like that. So we created the one workflow. So okay, here we have to give the path of the path. Okay, first is it is an in argument. Okay, in argument. The path, that's the in argument. So where do we have to create? We have to tell that, right? We have to tell where we have to create. That's the path, and in underscore what is the count? How many number of folders we have to create? That's the integer. Got it? So this will come from outside. That's why it is in. This will come from outside. So we have to decide where we have to create and how many number of folders we have to create. Okay, let's use the while loop, and so use the variable here. I'm just using the variable I integer, the just temporary variable. I is less than in underscore count. Okay, suppose imagine this count is a 5. Okay, the 5 is this is the I is I'm just declaring the I is equal to 1. I is 1. So 1 is less than 5, right? Means less than 5. So then it will go inside and we're just incrementing the I value I plus 1. So just create a folder. Create a folder here with the in underscore path plus slash I.toString. Okay, whatever the folders it has to create, you will create. So if you run this one, it won't run independently. So let's go to the process and just try to drag this one. Try to drag this. What is that? Create folder by number. Just drag and drop. Here you're passing the values, right? The path. The path you can pass directly the hard-coded value. Got it? Otherwise, you can create a variable here. Got it? Here, you have a value in the variable. You can pass that variable. Okay. Anything is fine, right? You can pass the in argument is a folder path. Okay. In the same time, the number is also, you can pass the variable which having the number, or you can pass the number directly. Okay, the hard coded value. Got it? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, now let us run, and here it will create a, because we gave the root path, right? Root path. Now see, it's created all the files of the folders in the background. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, now why it is a reuse? So tomorrow, if I want to create a somewhere else, suppose somewhere else here, I want to create in this folder. Okay, no need to create anything. So just drag and drop this one, and so pass that variable. Okay, how many you have to create? I want to create a 500. Okay, just click here. Let's run. You can see. So here, this is a reusable. You're not writing the code again and again whenever you want. Okay. See here. See in the background. See here. It's created the 500 folders. We didn't. In the second time, we're not writing any code to create folder. Right? Did we write a code for creating the folder those many number of times? No, right? The path is different. The number of folders is different. Got it? So whatever it is, these two values were just inputting to that folder. Okay. Okay. So while we are developing this one, we just imagine that this is given by the output from outside. This is coming from the outside. Okay. So based on that imaginations, we develop the code. Okay. Whenever they want to write this one, automatically it will create a folder. It will create a, that means whenever they want, they can just pass the variables or the values, anything. Okay. But the output argument, definitely you have to use the variables only, because you have to store. You should not send, right? So the argument, hard-coded value, you have to store. That's why if you see any output argument here, see the default value is not supported, right? See here, the output arguments, you can't give the default value. The output arguments, it's not acceptable. That's the in and out. Okay, so now you just create a one workflow. Okay, this is an exercise for you. So create a reusable workflow. Okay, you just give city name as an input argument. Input to the workflow. It has to return a so not city name and would write as a output. So simply I'm just using C. So see, if you go to the any PAN card center, okay, just imagine you applied somewhere somewhere how one week or 10 days back you applied for the PAN card, okay. So you're going to the PAN card center and you're asking that to that person, so what is the status of my PAN card? Okay, they will ask the number, registration number. That means while you are applying that, there's some number, registration number. So that number is input to that person. Okay, they may write somewhere in the notebook, right? That part, that values, whatever you're giving the registration number, that is an input to that person. Okay, so whatever that person do, that person may open the application or call to someone else. Okay, we don't need to bother us. We are expecting some value. What is the value we are expecting from the PAN card operator? That means PAN card officer. What is the value we are trying to? What is the value we are expecting? What is the value we are expecting from that PAN card officer? Type in the chat window. See, again, I will tell. See, there is a PAN card officer. You applied long back, 10 days back, you applied the one PAN card. Okay, you're applying for the PAN card. They gave the some reg number, registration number. Okay, number. Okay. They gave the registration number on that day. Now you go to the PAN card office and you're asking, what is the status of, this is a question, okay, what is the status of, what is status of my PAN? Okay, that is a XAML. Okay, you're asking what is the status of my PAN? What is the current status of my PAN? What is current status of my PAN? This is the one XAML. This is one question you're asking. Okay. XAML is like an officer, just officer. Okay, so if you ask this question, they will ask anything or they will tell immediately? They will ask anything. What they will ask to you? What they want to check the status? They will ask the rig number. They need, okay, the officer need a registration number from you. That's why in this workflow, the in underscore reg number, okay, that is an in argument for that person. Okay, so you are giving the input as a reg number. So will they give any output? What you are expecting? What you are expecting from that officer? Status, excellent. Okay, the status. So status is a string. They will tell it's not at cam or it's not it's a rejected or approved. Okay, so anything they will tell. Okay, status. You're expecting anything from that workflow to outside. Okay, to outside in the sense the status is you require that status. Okay, based on the status you may decide something else. Okay, so then to store that status to you, you should have a variable. Okay, that is the out argument. This is the out. They will tell outside the status of that PAN card. That is the out. So whatever they need, that is the in. So whatever process what they will do, we don't need to bother about that. Okay, it's not, we don't need to bother about. So whatever they may call to some other higher officers and check, or they may just go to the website and check, or they may check whatever they have a hard-coded copies, or suppose for example yesterday they got some PAN cards. Okay, they will check in that PAN cards. Okay, so whatever the work, we're not bother about, right? We're not bothered. We're just giving the input and they will give the output. That's it. That's why so here see folders, we're not bothered about how that is creating folders. Okay, so what this one, whenever you call, just pass the path and tell me how many number of folders you want to create. I will create for you. Okay, that is the workflow this workflow is telling about. Okay, tell the path where we have to create. tell the number of folders, how many number of folders you have to create. So I don't give any output, but I will create for you. Okay, these many folders in that particular path. That is this is very simple. So if you just understand the real world the problems, so you can understand the real world problems, like a in out is also like a so here so the registration number, so they may give the the same thing, they may give the something like a registration receipt. Okay, some receipts, IO receipt. Okay, IO receipt. Okay, so you're giving some receipt, hard copy receipt to this person. Okay, so which they gave earlier. Okay, 10 days back. The same workflow. This is the IO, input output argument. Okay, so you are giving the one receipt, a physical receipt to that person. Okay, they will just stamp that receipt. Okay, approved or rejected. Okay, they will just give the some stamp and do some signature and give it back to you only. Okay, the same receipt they're giving back. So whatever receipt you gave to them, they just updated in the sense they just give the signature and they just updated the status by just pressing the stamp, that means approved or rejected. So then they are giving back to the same receipt to you. Okay, that is in and out. So the same thing you're giving, and they are just doing something and they're giving back to the same updated receipt to you. That is the in and out. Do you understand? Do you understand in out, in out, in out? Just think about the real time scenarios. Okay, so in out. Okay, now what you have to create a and reusable workflow. So that's will give the, you have to give the input as a, so I will give the, so just send to me, so I will give the input as a city name and it has to give the variable output variable as a rate, as both are strings, okay. So whatever it do, what it will do, we'll go to the open the Google and type that city name, gold rate in Bangalore today, and that will give this number. Okay, that will give this number. This Bangalore, Chennai, whatever, you have to create a reusable workflow. Okay, that will give the output. Got it? Any doubts? Any doubts? So you're able to do this one, right? You're able to do this one. Now, the second thing is get person names. Okay, so this is a get person names. So I will ask that input underscore number of persons. So how many number of persons I want, and output underscore a list of strings. That means person names. These are person names. Some names. If I give this is a 5 or 10 or 100. Okay, this has to give those many person names. Those many person names as a list of strings. It has to return back to me. Okay, got it? So within this, you have to loop those many number of times, open the application and take that value, the person name, fake name generator person name, and store into this value variable, list variable, and again go to this many number of times and fill this list and get back, send back that list. Okay. Do you understand the second example? Get a person by number. That means number of persons. Get number of persons. Get number of persons. Okay, so this is a one workflow name, and so these are all the I will give the I need 5 names. Okay, I will give the 5 here. Okay, 5, and I will store this one into the one variable, a list of persons. This list of persons is one variable in my workflow, and this output will having this 5 names. Okay, I don't know what you are going to write inside the code. Okay, so that's why. So this is a reusable workflow. So you just see this. If you develop for one time, okay, a reusable workflow. So tomorrow I need 500 names. I can reuse this one, right? Whenever I want a single name, the new name, I can reuse this one. Got it? Got it, right? So this is the exercises for you. It's a simple exercise. Create a reusable workflow part 2. So if you can do more, just think about that. Create multiple things. Create multiple workflows, reusable workflows. Okay. Yeah, practice more, and also please go through the same recording again today, because it is a very important thing. So what I observed is so unnecessarily see here process, we don't need to create a variables, but they people some people they are creating the variables because they don't understand clear picture on that reusable workflows. Here we don't need arguments. Whenever you call, no need arguments. If you're calling somewhere else, this process also you're getting some in the main calling, then you need the arguments. Okay, that is the difference between the arguments and variables. To store these values, you don't need to create arguments. You have to create a variables to store that one. Even you can create, you can store in the variable arguments also, but whenever you need. Got it? Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Tomorrow I will send the new link. Okay. So before class, I will send. Okay. Bye bye.